On the morning of August 31st, 2013, police received numerous complaints of a lady screaming in Cottonwood Glen Park. A neighbor said he heard a young woman scream about 10 times, and when he went to his back porch, which backs up to the park, he couldn't see her. However, he overheard another neighbor shout that they had called the police. When the police arrived, they discovered Amber Smith sitting naked on the concrete walkway in the park, with red duct tape wrapped around her hands and feet. In addition, several layers of tape were used to cover her eyes and mouth. She had sustained serious injuries, including a broken jaw, a brain hemorrhage, scratches, and choke marks on her face and neck, all of which were the result of a severe beating. On the evening of August 30th, 2013, Amber Smith was at Rosborough Park enjoying a vodka drink with a friend. After consuming too much, she passed out, and her buddy abandoned her on the park bench. She later woke up on the floor of a strange house, her hands and feet bound, and her mouth taped shut. When she tried to scream, the assailant punched her in the face, causing her to lose consciousness again. Upon regaining consciousness, Amber realized that additional layers of duct tape had been used to cover her eyes. She was naked and shivering, but could hear the distant sound of passing cars. Realizing that she was still alive, the urgency of escaping the situation became clear to her. Amber summoned all of her strength to scream as loudly as she could through the duct tape. Amber admitted that she found it difficult to explain what had happened. She gave investigators a list of potential attackers, with the male friend she was drinking with in the park being the primary suspect. However, DNA samples taken from them didn't match that found on the duct tape. Despite exhaustive efforts to uncover new leads, the investigation eventually went cold until August of 2017, nearly 4 years following the assault. During this time, DNA analysts were able to construct a DNA profile from samples gathered in 2013. The Fort Collins police subsequently visited Amber's residence and presented her with a photograph of their primary suspect. Upon viewing the photograph, Amber Smith immediately recognized the individual. It was her roommate, Stefan Moon. Amber and Moon became friends in the end of 2015, after Stefan Moon rented a room in the same house that Amber was renting. During their first encounter, Amber thought that Moon gave her a disapproving look, which initially made her dislike him. However, they eventually established a friendship, and when they did, Amber confided in Moon about the details of her assault. Against the advice of his lawyer, Moon requested a conversation with the investigator. He informed him that he was in the park on that evening, responding to a Craigslist ad for a free sex act. He claimed to have engaged in sexual activity with an unidentified woman, whom he had provided with beer. However, the police were unable to find the specific advertisement referenced by Moon. In an effort to implicate his roommate, he informed investigators that he had shared details of the Craigslist ad with his friend. According to Moon, his friend later went to the park and returned home with a woman. He claimed to have heard screaming and witnessed his friend cursing while allegedly assaulting the woman. An investigation into these allegations was carried out, and Moon's friend was cleared of any wrongdoing by the police. Stefan Moon, age 38, was convicted by a jury on charges of 2 counts of sexual assault, second-degree kidnapping, and first-degree assault. As a result of his convictions, he was sentenced to a term of 128 years to life in prison and was also classified as a sexually violent predator.